in an Eagles Nation, as our team is now 7-1 in the NFL season. It's your boy Greenwingmen. I want to talk about my thoughts of yesterday's win against the atrocious and bad 49ers team as we went up 33-10. Such a very good game. Now, again, granted, it was a very rainy game, a very slow game, maybe due to the rain. Just a couple of miscues. Nothing too serious that would kind of negate us from not winning this game. I don't think, without a doubt, I don't think me or even probably you guys out there were very worried about this game or this loss. I'm trying to make sure I get good lighting so you guys can see my beautiful face. There you go. But either than that, no, it was a really good game. So let's sit down and let's talk about a little bit of the positives of the game. Dude, Carson Wentz wasn't that great in this game. Two touchdowns still, but one interception as of late, maybe due to miscommunication between him and Mac Hollins. I think Mac Hollins, was probably supposed to come back to the ball, or maybe when he was throwing the ball, um, I think he was expecting Mac Hollins to cut back into the middle, and then he ended up cutting back out to the side, which led to that costly open interception. But again, Matt Collins is a rookie. He's been playing very good very good football. With the amount of time that he's had on the field, and he continues to do very good stuff. I'm trying to actually make sure I'm in. Like, can you see me? Like, I don't have great lighting. Okay, that's good. Better lighting. So yeah, no. So I think it was really good on Mac. I mean, again, they're gonna sit down and hopefully get that talk. They'll work on that, get that talking over, and kind of hopefully they'll be on probably the same page next time. That way we don't see a couple of interceptions. But no, it was a game kind of what I expected it to be. I expected it to be a very slog game where the defense was going to sit down and take over because the offense definitely had a very struggle trying to get things going and get things moving at the moment. Let's talk about some of the more highlight plays. The big play from Alshon Jeffrey, man, what a great play. We've been waiting for that hook up between Wentz and Alshon for a while. And to be in my opinion, I don't really think we're going to see much of it. I think it's going to be very sparingly. I, I just don't think Carson Wentz is really comfortable to throw into Alshon Jeffrey. I don't know. We do expect Alshon Jeffrey to have kind of big plays. I think there were moments, and it's not that Carson Wentz isn't hitting Alshon Jeffrey, but I think maybe we need to have maybe a different expectation on how Alshon Jeffrey fits in this offense because, again, not to knock on him, I think he's still very good, and I think defenses have to still account for him, but I don't expect the Carson to Jeffrey connection where it's going to give us abundance of touchdowns. I think at this point, I think clearly the two best players right now on our receiving core right now are Ertz and Nelson Aguilar. I think these guys continue to make baller plays and do incredible stuff. Moving on and speaking to other players, again, great pass to Zach Ertz. Again, Zach Ertz continues to dial up the touchdowns. Was a very great back throw in the end zone from Carson to Ertz. That's very big sit down connection. Um, Other big plays. Corey Clement busts out for another couple of good runs. We actually got to see Legarrette bunt into the touchdown. He hasn't had a touchdown since what is it? Since the was it since? I want to say it wasn't the last time we've seen him get a touchdown since the Chargers game. I might be wrong, but. No. But again, the offense was just a little shaky at the moment. I do have a bit of concern right now with the offensive line. I think it's going to be stable. I know a lot of people were very worried about Vaitai, and yes, there were moments where Vaitai did get beat on a couple of moves, and I think you might have to go max pretend where you bring in Brent Selleck in a lot, which I think Doug Peterson did implement a lot. But in terms of the offensive line position, again, here's my opinion. Again, I'm not too worried because I think Vaitai will be suitable going into for this season. I think he'll be suitable And I think as he gets time in, and I think he gets some more reps in, I think he'll be able to sit down and settle down. Granted, he's not a great run blocker, so I think because if you really notice, a lot of our running plays do start from the left hand side where Jason Peters was because he was such a lockdown player. So it was really comfortable to see a lot of the running backs come and start their play from that end and run. But now you also start to see them changing up to more move to the right hand side with Lane Johnson because right now Lane Johnson is the far more better, more athletic O tackle at the moment. Um, should we go and trade and get somebody in? It's really interesting because right now, by the way how the season is being planned and how everything is lining up, this team really has a shot of going really deep into the playoffs and potentially being in the SB game, man. So, I mean, I would love to get your opinions out there, Eagle Nation, and what you would honestly do in this situation. Do you go out and truly go and get a trade off? And if you do, what would you trade right now? Because right now, heading into next year's draft, you don't have a one, you don't have a two, you don't have a three. You would hope the three would convert from New England, but that's not going to happen. And you have a whole bunch of fours. So, do you trade something away maybe in 2019? Would you give up a second or third? I mean, if it is for an O tackle, maybe for a third, but that's not much. I mean, the guy that you're hoping to get right now has a busted. He's in Philadelphia, but right now he has a busted eye socket. Thank you, delivered. Thank you by Vinny Curry. What do you do about the O line position? Again, I'm okay with the O line. I think it would be suitable for this season. Um, I think we definitely do need to try to get more linebacker help into the squad. Granted, though, I think the linebacking situation has looked very good. Granted, you are going against the 49ers, but again, you are going to go against more tougher defenses of the Broncos. You're going to get granted, you are going to get them on a short week. It's still very dangerous and very potent defense. The Cowboys can do some things. Again, not really worried about the Cowboys, especially after watching that game with the Redskins. I'm still not sold on their front four and their defense, and I think their secondary still gives up a lot of big plays that I think Carson Wentz will easily be able to expose once we play the lovely Cowgirls in week 10, 11 into the season. But then there's other places. I mean, the Giants still have a formidable front seven that can do some damage. Granted, they're not that great. So yeah, I think there's a lot of things that you have to sit down and consider as a fan. What do you do moving forward? And does Howie Roseman sit down and go out and try to get something done? A lot of things played. Anyway, let's go back to the defense. Sorry for rambling a bit. Great pick from Jalen Mills to running in for a touchdown. That man, I have to admit, I was one of the guys who was very, very down on Jalen Mills. I thought he was not that good of a cornerback, because every time he kind of got his man beat. But then again, he was a rookie, so this was a guy I think was supposed to be picked a lot higher in last 2016 in the 2016 draft. But in year two, the man has definitely come along. The guy's not the strongest, he's not the tallest dude, but I think right now this guy is built in a great sixth sense of tracking balls and just kind of seeing how the play is developing. So he was really able to get under CG Bernard to really pick that off and run it for a eventual touchdown. Another great play coming from our number one draft pick from David Barnett, who basically not only blocked a field goal, but was able to recover the ball. So not only he was able to do two things at once, man, and that kid is starting to very grow into his role right now. Granted, right now he's just a rotational piece between him and Vinny Curry, but right now, as I think as the season goes along, I think you're going to expect a lot more touches and reps for this young kid. Derek Bernard has looked very good, and all the rookies have looked good. Mac Hollins is starting to grow into his role, so his role might start to increase now that I don't think Torrey Smith is going to get a lot of playing time. By the way, because granted, Torrey Smith has nothing to be found. Nelson Aguilar is starting to take incredible leaps. Right now, he's your best wide receiver in this game. Um, Rosso Douglas continues to play well. I mean, this was a guy who was technically not really supposed to start this season, almost pretty much in the same situation with Sidney Jones, in a way that he was supposed to get redshirted because of Ronald Darby. And yet this defense continues to hold that front. And what can you say once again with our front seven just doing what they do, man. Fletcher Cox, basically Jimmy Turrigan, Fletcher Cox, and Chris Long. They just throw bodies out there, man. They're just fresh. They're alert. And Jim Schwartz just knows when to dial the blitz right now. It's really good to see how these coaches have now really developed and really kind of getting away from what we would normally think they would do. These coaches have done such a great job evolving and being far more better in in their schemes and how they set players up and work into their strengths. And again, this really kind of shows you how complete the Eagles team is. The fact that the offense was not that great, especially in the way how they started in the first quarter, and just how the defense was able to just to kind of hold them off until the offense was able to do something. I think this just kind of shows you the great formula of what good teams can do to make real Super Bowl runs. And then again, I say the Super Bowl world. But I mean, the more these guys play the game, the more it becomes a very complete possibility. So you can't sit there and not deny that. But other than that, it was a very good win from a very poor team at the moment. And now we move on to handle the Denver Broncos, which again is coming from a very brutal schedule. After being blown away by the Chargers, and then now they're gonna play against the Kansas City Chiefs. This again, not really. Again, that defense is still potent, but I don't think Trevor Simeon or Brock, whoever their quarterback is, starting in that game in Lincoln Financial, really doesn't scare me at this much. I think Carson Wentz is again far beyond the far more better quarterback to handle that team and to be able to sit down and break down that defense. I think it's just really game of attrition at that point. But yeah, those were my quick thoughts. I really wanted to sit down and get it in. Again, tell me your thoughts too. Should we go out and start trading away? And what would you trade away to maybe bring in extra depth into the O line, or maybe a linebacker, or maybe even a running back? Because again, we are struggling with a lot of our running backs just cannot pass block to protect Carson Wentz, man. So again, I would like to sit down and get your thoughts below. Also check out my Facebook page and also check out my Twitter page, Greenwingmen. And until then, yeah, tell me your thoughts down below. Until then, this is Greenwingmen, guys. Enjoy this lovely victory Monday morning. And also, if you're doing any Halloween or trick or treating, please stay safe. Until again, fly, Eagles fly. You guys stay fly. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.